Hey there everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have three topics on the agenda. We're going to talk about the state of the game, how players might be at fault for their boredom within score match, and what's gonna happen to this channel and what's gonna happen to me playing the game in the future. Let's go. So guys, this isn't going to be a video that is, a very happy one. It's not going to be, funny in any way or form. It's just going to be, real talk because right now, at this point in time in score matches, history, development, or rather lack thereof, we really are at a, at a point where things are pretty dire, pretty stale, pretty bad. And this is obviously because, like in March, we're gonna have been 2 years since the last update. 2 whole years. Now, I've already talked about this before. I've already talked about, the lack of attention that Score Match receives, about how the developers aren't really interested in Score Match all that much. Yes, they put out events, yes, they, update the season pass. But other than that, the game is really at its lowest point. I feel that attention within the game is pretty low, and it is decreasing as we speak because of, obviously, guys, there is no world, right, that in which a game that is not being worked on, that is not being paid attention to, keeps thriving, keeps going forward. It just does not happen. That is, marketing 101. Like, if you don't give something attention, it just won't flourish, it won't grow at all. Now, the popularity of Score Match has helped, especially during COVID times when, it was the talk of the town. It was a really big and up-and-coming mobile game. In fact, the developers used to give a lot of attention to Score Match. They used to update the game every so often, every few months. Now it's been almost 2 years, guys, now, and it's never been funny, but now it's pretty kind of funny, 2 years. Now, the game is abandoned effectively, and the thing is that, in FTG's defense, or as a counter argument, one might say that even 2 years ago we didn't have any kind of hint about any update coming, and does that mean that, an update might be coming? Well, in theory, yes. In theory, no, like, FTG won't tell anyone, listen guys, we're currently working on an update. Like, it's just not how FTG operates, unfortunately, and we cannot expect that. And in not expecting any announcement, players, even myself, as I will, talk about later on, just won't see the point of investing time and investing money, even in cases, in a game that is just, again, abandoned, not being cared for. And the game carries, bugs all the way from like years and years back. The corner kick bug, where your opponent's player clearly touches the ball last, and you don't get a corner. The software, the volleyball. It is a game not for the faint heart, right? It's a game that, even for players such as myself who love the game, and who really enjoyed progressing through the arenas, upgrading all the players or most of them, like, even to those kinds of people, guys, to those kinds of players, how long are you gonna keep playing what is essentially a dead game? Because Score Match is a dead game, guys. A dead game is a game that is not being updated, a game that is, has its player base consistently shrinking, and that is obviously, whose fault is that? And it's not the player's fault. Now, this brings me to my second point about, I think there is some kind of fault to be had when it comes to us players or most of the players playing score match. And I'm gonna, give me a moment to explain here. I've had quite a few comments from people telling me like, man, I'm bored, they should update the game. I'm tired of, the game is really always the same, and definitely 100% the game obviously isn't getting updated, as I have said, and there's only so much you can do within the game to keep yourself interested over a period of years, months, whatever. Now, where I think I would draw the line, and where I think it's the player's fault for getting bored in the game, is because some of these players that have come forward to me telling me like, man, Marco, man, this is it's such a boring game. Some of those players only play one formation, or at least at the very maximum 2 formations. That's all. They don't experiment with different formations. They don't experiment with different setups. They don't try out different players. And I know, I get it. Like, if you're gonna stick to, for example, a 5-3-2, if you're gonna stick to a 4-4-2, I mean, sure, you're gonna have a better win rate than if you experiment around, but you're just gonna keep experiencing the same thing. You're just gonna keep experiencing the same rigid, experience that score match offers, without having even a chance to try out a different formation, a formation that involves different player movements, different dynamics. It's just exactly like buying a book and only reading the first page. And you can read the first page, you can read the first page again and again and again, but then you can't tell me, man, this book sucks. It's just always the same. And like the author would just say, then flip the page and experience more of what the book offers. But no, many people like playing one singular formation. I'm not saying that everyone is, and I'm not saying like that you should or should not do that. Again, guys, in this channel I never want to police people on how to play the game, on how to, experience things and what you should do and shouldn't do. That is completely up to you. And on this channel I've tried, and I always try to show you guys that there are more than one ways of playing the game. There are more than one ways of interpreting the game as well. Trying different players, trying different setups. Like, if you consistently and only play, I've seen guys, people play one single formation for years on end, which is, to me, crazy. So, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But if that same person comes and tell me, man, Marco, this game sucks, it's so boring. Like, yeah, I mean, if you keep playing one formation only, and never try any players, never try and upgrade and place different players in different positions, in different formations, then I'm sorry, you're at fault here. Like, it's not FTG's problem that from the wide span of players that we have available, we have such a different variety of players. If you're only going to use a very small portion of them, if you're only going to use hammers, guards, protectors, and not experiment with, I don't know, Sinclair and Hakan if you want to try something different, like, is it really FTG's fault at that point? They've developed different players for you, they've developed different formations for you, and if you're not going to go the distance and put yourself into a position where you want to experience something different, even at the cost of your win rate being, decreasing slightly, well, again, whose fault is that? And to hell with the win rate, man. To hell with the win rate. Who gives a crap about the win rate? It's just, the game is just about having fun. And even despite that, even if you want to pay attention to your win rate, guys, you can still get a good win rate if you upgrade your players. It helps if you have max or near max players, but you can still have a very good win rate, guys. I have almost 72% win rate while always never playing the same formation for more than a month or two. Like, sure, my players are upgraded, and sure, I have experience with different formations, but unless you as well, players like these, experience different things, you will never, gain and become a better player to be able to play different formations and become more versatile. So, you know, long way to say that there is content out there. There hasn't been new content for a very long time in Score Match, but there is different content. And content, I'm talking about content in terms of formations. There are, a dozen formations, I think. There are dozens of players. Like, that is content. And yeah, I'm not saying that every player should be upgraded or should be tried out and is good in every position, every formation, but if you're gonna tell me, man, I'm really bored because there's no content, there is content, and it's your decision to ignore that content that is leading you to say that. Now, again, this isn't to take from the fact that FTG has not developed or given an update to the game in 2 years, guys. 24 months, crazy, right? This is an absolutely crazy situation to have, even for just a mobile game that players, play every so often. Like, an update every 6 months, one update every 6 months is not too much to ask, in my opinion, because that way you keep the content fresh, you give players something to sink their teeth into, and, without that, it's obvious, man. It's obvious that, the player base will continue to falter. And I am going back to my initial point here, I know. But even apart from that, FTG does not have any interest in collaborating with different YouTubers, giving consistent updates about updates, telling us what they're working on, what they're doing, etc. So there is nothing to tell us that they are working on the game or that they want to keep a close tie to their community. It is just not the case, and we have to accept that for what it is and move on. Now, in my recent video, it was an event video a few days ago, I've received quite a few comments asking me about, just telling me about the state of the game, which, guys, I know that it is really depressing, unfortunately. And many people asked if I will eventually retire, if what's gonna happen with the channel if there are no updates. And this is a very complicated question to answer, even though I have a kind of idea of what will happen in the future when it comes to the channel. Again, guys, without any content, there is only so much that players can sink their teeth into, and that I can even, use as creativity to give you guys videos and edit stuff and experience different things myself. Now, when I was saying that the future of the channel is kind of already written on the wall, it's that over the past few years I did have the free time to not only play the game but edit videos and upload them and create thumbnails and things like that. Now in the future I already know that time will only keep decreasing as time goes on. And obviously, guys, I cannot keep doing this forever, especially if, attention for the game continues to dwindle, if my motivation for playing the game, which is already at an all-time low, continues to, decrease. Things aren't looking good, unfortunately. Now, this doesn't mean that I will stop. Eventually I will, but it won't be, a week from now, a month from now. I don't know when, guys. But some people have noticed that I have not been active recently, too much, except for event videos. And yeah, as I was saying, guys, my motivation, and this is something I've been talking about even during the latest event videos, my motivation to play the game has never been this low. Never, man. And that is really because of not only because of the dire state of the game, but even because of the really disgusting state of the game when it comes to the Infinity Arena. There's so much volleyball going around, and this is exactly what happens when a game is not catered to, and when a game is not being paid attention to by the developers. It's that the player base is then kind of sliced, and a portion of the players who enjoy playing different things and playing different football see that if the game is not being updated and if volleyball is not being taken care of, they will just quit. and you'll never hear from them again, and they will never get back into the game. The players that will remain will either be like crazy guys like myself who have been playing the game for 6 years now ongoing, and mostly they will be volleyballers, people who don't really enjoy the game, they just enjoy winning, and if it's in a toxic manner, it's all the better. This is not something I endorse, it's not something I approve. Again, I am not the policeman of how you should play the game, but this is just my opinion that if given that FTG has not been attentive to the game, and it hasn't been taking the gameplay of score match seriously, that is just what will be left off from a player base that was once a very interesting one. It was like, go to videos from like 4 or 5 years back, guys, and see the variety of formations being played in the Infinity Arena. Now it's just 3-5-2 and 4-4-2. That's all. Again, there's nothing wrong with a 4-4-2, there's nothing wrong with a 5-3-2, but most of it is just, what's left. Because the player base right now is simply what is left after years of neglect. And honestly, it's a very sad thing, it's a very sad situation. And now going back to the point, why should I, right, or any other player for that matter, keep being invested in the game, or keep even monetarily investing in a game that is not being updated, and whose situation right now in the Infinite Arena and in events as well is just disgusting. Because if you think that I enjoy playing against mostly volleyballers in events, like, I know it might be funny seeing me rage, and it's fun to see me even sometimes beat volleyballers and all that, but personally it is not fun. Personally, it is not something that I enjoy, having to sit at this desk every weekend and deal with so many different kinds of kids, like abusing the friend captains, abusing volleyball, and fielding a formation that is so completely silly that I wouldn't even begin to explain it to someone who doesn't play score match. That is not fun. It is not fun for me, and it isn't fun for anyone who enjoys playing any real football. Now, as long as I have your guys' support, and it is just simply a matter of that, guys, that I am still here, is the fact that through this channel I am really thankful for having been given so much support, being it through views, comments, likes, and all that. That's one of the only reasons, if not the only reason, that I am still here making videos. Now, in the future, I'm not sure what's gonna happen, guys. I think I hope that it might be just a matter of just be a period in time where I am not very motivated in playing, but I don't know. It might just be a rough patch where I'm just a bit kind of not really interested in the game, not really interested in spending hours in front of my screen just dealing with volleyball and stuff like that. So I might get my motivation back later, but the fact that there is nothing going on in the game right now, the fact that I have maxed quite a lot of my players now, there is just nothing for me to sink my teeth into. There is nothing for me, and again, I will, going back to what I said about it, might be the player's fault of saying that, oh, I'm bored. Like, sure, there are many formations that I can try, and I have tried a bunch of formations. I have won a gold medal with every single formation. I've played so many different setups throughout the channel, so I really invite you guys to check them out, because I have a video about every formation out there. Now, and this isn't to toot my own horn, it isn't to tell you, like, none of that. It's just saying that, what else is there for me to explore? What else is there for me to tell you guys? Oh, look, there's this new way of playing the game, there's this new kind of thing going on, because there is no such new thing. There are no new things in score match, and that is a very big reason why many players, including myself, are losing interest from the game. Is it temporary? Is it permanent? I'm not sure. I hope it's temporary, but I really do hope that FTG gives this game a good update, and not just any update where we get a players like we get a new level 12 or like a new arena. We need something good. I've gone into detail before about what could be done to the game. Daily missions, new kits, nerfing volleyball, nerfing friend captains. Thank you for watching, guys.